Deadpool and Wolverine. We are here. We have seen the movie. We have finally seen the movie. This is going to be a very spoiler heavy review. So if you have not seen the movie, switch off now. Or if you're not sure if you're going to see it and you just want a spoiler review and you don't care, stay here. I'm about to give you all my thoughts and all my opinions on the movie. But first and foremost, I'm just going to say how I feel about the movie in general. So this part isn't going to be spoiler heavy, but be careful because there's going to be lots of them. I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was a really, really good movie. I do feel that I didn't enjoy it as much of as a lot of the fandom. Like I feel like, people are like 12 out of 10, fire emojis. Actually, it doesn't deserve fire emojis, sorry, but I feel like there's an excitement about it that I didn't reach, but I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a great movie. I don't want to say like I didn't enjoy it. I really did enjoy it. It lacked a couple of things for me that I just feel like would have taken it from what was a great movie to a greater movie. In my cinema, there were people clapping and stuff. I didn't feel like clapping, but I very, very, very much enjoyed it. So maybe, to be fair, I wouldn't clap in a cinema anyway. So maybe that's what that's about. I laughed more than anyone else though. And so maybe this is just a personality thing because I definitely laughed more than anybody else in theatre. The theatre, the cinema, however you want to call it, the movie theatre. Yeah, I definitely laughed more than anyone else. It was fun. It was funny. And I feel like there was a lot of freedom. And I feel like you could feel the freedom being expressed by Disney in, okay, we've got the power now. We've got all these characters. We can do what we want. Let's have a lot of fun. And that's what it felt like, which is good. And it's what you expect from a Deadpool movie. And I feel like some of my criticisms, which again, I'm going to wait till the end for the criticisms. I want to talk about what I enjoyed first. Some of my criticisms are like maybe just typical for a Deadpool movie. So maybe it's me being a little bit harsh, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. The first thing I want to talk about is maybe one of my main enjoyable moments, to be honest, and of which there were many. But that fight scene at the beginning, Deadpool against the TVA agents. Oh my goodness gracious. How enjoyable, how amazing was that fight scene? Like, oh my God. Like at that moment, I thought, yeah, that's when I felt like you guys. That was when I was like, oh wow, we are in for a treat here. Let's talk about the dancing. Oh, oh, in between fighting and the dancing and then using the use of the skeleton, the adamantium skeleton, the title sequence being shown on the actual skeleton. Oh man, that was just so incredible. The way he was throwing and using the different parts of the bones and everything about it was just incredible. And then also with Marvel movies, what you tend to notice is that they use a lot of like I feel like rock anthems in their movies for big fights. Like they tend to lean towards rock anthems, which is fine. I'm not against that. Obviously, there are some movies where they don't, but most of the scores they feel like very rock anthem heavy when you have a big fight scene. Whereas in this movie, throughout all the big fight scenes had like cheesy pop anthems, but I thought it matched really, really well. The movie choice sort of juxtaposed the fighting because the fighting was quite gratuitous violence, but also it was really fun fighting. There was a lot of freedom. Again, it's a Deadpool style movie, so there was a lot of fun being had. There's a lot of ha ha ha. I'm gonna dance and I'm gonna use the rib cage to. Do you know what I mean? And they had like ba 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 ba. I really appreciated that. I'll be honest. I thought that was a great choice of soundtrack. I thought using the pop music. I mean, even this morning they had me listening to NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. Just as I'm writing these notes, I'm listening to ba 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 ba. So that was good. That was good. And Madonna Like a Prayer for the Deadpool chord scene. That was I love that song. I actually love that song. For those who don't know, I actually really enjoy cheesy pop music. I actually enjoy like old cheesy pop music more than I do like modern pop music, if I'm honest. So that's another story. That's another story altogether. I thoroughly enjoyed that scene. I thought, yes, we're in for a treat here. And it was good. And it was good. And it was a good start. And I felt strong about that. So I had to throw that in there. The movie in itself, because I talked about fun and freedom, again, like I said, it kind of felt like Disney flexing its muscles. Kind of felt like Disney saying, look what we can do. At this point, we've got the rights to all the characters, we've got all this money, we've got all this interest, we can literally do whatever we want. Come and see. And I feel like it was like an expression, and it was like, this is a start of something else. This is the start of us doing big, big things. Well, that's yet to be seen. That's yet to be seen with the DCU hot on their heels, but, well, not hot on their heels, but smelling blood, let's say. But yeah, no, it definitely felt like Marvel flexing their muscles, and also it's a bit of a celebration of the end of another era. And I wasn't actually going to bring this up until later in this review, but the mid credits where they did like a trailer somewhat of different Fox movies, like the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and all the behind the scenes, and I literally got goosebumps. I'm not exaggerating. I had real goosebumps. Maybe that's because I'm a millennial and it's like, oh my God, old stuff. But I had real goosebumps, man. And yeah, it made me excited to see, oh yeah, they're gonna recreate all of this in an MCU modern Disney Plus way, and it could be really good. Like this could be like us getting another Fantastic Four could be really good. Us getting another like some more X-Men characters being integrated would be really good. I love the X-Men, by the way. X-Men is one of my favorite Marvel properties. I probably am more excited to see the X-Men get introduced than for me to see them continue the Avengers storyline. To be honest, I kind of hope that they start leaning heavily into the X-Men stuff, because I love the X-Men. I think it's just such an incredible franchise full of such incredible characters and such incredible storyline. So yeah, that was exciting. That gave me real goosebumps. Even the clips from the movies I didn't enjoy, I was like, oh my God. Like, so yeah, man, that was good. That was really enjoyable. So it was like the end of an era and the start of a new era. And I feel like the movie really decorated that very well, put it together very well. So yeah, shout out to them for that. Obviously, it's a multiverse movie, right? You've got variants, you've got traveling through whatever, the multiverse and da 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 da. It's not the first time we've seen a character go through the multiverse looking for something and seeing, oh, this universe is like this and this universe is like this. It's not, we've seen that before, haven't we? But I definitely feel like just us being able to see loads of different Wolverines was really, really enjoyable. We're going through Wolverine to Wolverine. We had Henry Cavill as Wolverine. That was cool. And you had the little short Wolverine and blah, blah, blah. And then at one point, which is actually the point I'm getting to, but I really enjoyed that scene. I was just saying, in the claws, you saw the Wolverine and Hulk fight. And I feel like that was really, really, really exciting. And part of me is like, oh, I would actually would have lost 3 of the fight scenes in this movie to have a Wolverine versus Hulk fight scene. I know it deserves its own movie. I know that storyline deserves its very own movie, but it was really exciting, and I'm hoping that they show us that, because that was properly exciting. Yeah, man. So shout out to the bringing of Wolverine and the way that they showed us all those different Wolverines. I thought it was cool. They managed to fit in all the different Wolverine variants, because there's not many Wolverines in the Void, and all the different Deadpool variants, because there's loads of Deadpool variants in the Void in 2 completely different ways. But we got to see them, and I feel like instead of like dragging out, like doing another montage with the Deadpool variants, it was like, look, we'll give you the Deadpool variants all together in a fight scene. We'll give you the Wolverine variants in a montage, and I feel like that was good, because they couldn't have done both ways. Do you know what I mean? They had to pick one or the other. So I feel like I enjoyed the way that they showed us all those different variants. Although when I come to my criticism, I do talk about how much was going on in the movie. But obviously, it's a multiverse movie with Deadpool and Wolverine. We want to see Deadpool and Wolverine variants. So yeah, so that was well done, showing us both, but it not feeling like too much. It was like, this is just enough for us to enjoy the different variants without it taking over the movie. So well done for that. Bravo for that. I feel like the middle of the movie, the second act, being set in the Void was a good shout, because it made sense. Again, like, we've already had our multiverse montage. We don't need to go across the multiverse again. But how do we bring all these cameos together? We've done they've come to this world for some reason. We've done we're going to go to all their worlds because this person has the powers to do that. We've done all the traveling across the multiverse. We've done the TVA and all this stuff, even though obviously the TVA were a huge part of why Deadpool ended up there. But, they weren't switching him through universes here, there, left, right, and center. We've done all of that. So it was like, boom. let's just put them in the void. And then that way we can throw as many cameos in there and as many multiverse characters in there as we want. And it makes sense. And I thought that was really well done. You know what? I'm convincing myself that I actually enjoyed the movie as much as the rest of the fandom, you know? The more I talk about it. And it's funny, as I was writing my notes, I was like, oh yeah, that was so amazing. Oh yeah, that was so amazing. So actually, maybe I did really, really enjoy the movie. I've got a thing about balance. I like to balance things. So maybe I did enjoy it as much as everyone else. I just can't help but balance it. Anyway, yeah, so the Void was a really, really good setting, you know, for the movie that we watched. The Void was a really, really good setting, and it was able to give us everything that we wanted cameo-wise. Now, I'm not going to sit here and list all the cameos like some videos will. I won't do a video listing all the cameos, but I just want to say, seeing Blade, oh God, that was exciting for me. I loved Blade when I was a kid. Do you know how many times I watched Blade, bruv, on video, on VHS tape? Do you know how many times I watched Wesley Snipes fighting vampires, boy? Oh my days. That touched me in my heart and soul. Blade, bro. The original Blade. Like, I'm super excited for a new Blade. But to give Wesley Snipes the respect of, yeah, he's the original Blade. Yes. So, cut a long story short, I enjoyed that very much. I liked Gambit. I liked seeing Gambit. I liked the jokes about how terrible his accent was. I thought that was a good introduction. I mean, yeah, not a good introduction, but I thought that was really well done. I thought that was funny. Like I said, I laughed more than everyone else. So, but anyway, cut a long story short, I thought that was really funny. I liked the fight scene with Gambit. And now after X-Men 97 and Deadpool Wolverine, I feel like Gambit's had a good year. I feel like Gambit's one of the superheroes of the year. He just needs maybe, I don't know, maybe something else. He needs a toy or something. Because he's been one of the superheroes of the year. I thoroughly enjoyed his character in this. It was nice to see X-23 back, just in a sense of it's a Wolverine movie. You know, we brought up the fact that, you know, Loki died in Logan and that whole thing happened. So it just felt right having her in the movie. I don't think she did too much. I think that the way they utilized her was perfect. They didn't overdo it. It was just like, look, I'm here. I'm in the void. You saved my life, blah, 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 blah. It was like, you know, touching moment. It was like, come on, you're Wolverine, bro. Like, I know you. I know who you are. So, so that was nice. That was a nice introduction. And she did what she needed to do. She did what we needed of her. So well done to that cameo. Chris Evans coming back as the Human Torch. Yes. What a good touch. Now, just a quick anecdote. This video is getting a bit long in itself, but just a quick anecdote. I went to for a staycation a couple of weeks ago with my wife, and we were doing a quiz. There was a quiz box, and I didn't know any of the answers to any of the questions, and neither did she. It was the hardest quiz I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, it was a quiz just for geniuses. And but one of the questions was, in Marvel, what character has Chris Evans played other than Captain America, right? And obviously I got it right. So when he came on, and I knew it was in the void, I knew it was a multiverse movie, I thought, he's going to be the Human Torch, isn't he? And then he was the Human Torch. But I didn't make it any less enjoyable for me. I was like, yes! It actually made me excited for Fantastic Four, which, not that I'm not excited for Fantastic Four, but I'm more excited to see the X-Men than the Fantastic Four. But when I saw Human Torch and I saw Chris Evans come back, I said, you know what? That might be something to be excited about, you know, my brother. That was a good touch. And they made it like a joke, didn't they? It was like, oh, he's about to say the thing. And then he was like, flame on. And they were like, who's this? Who is this guy? And then he had the Fantastic Four outfit on. And it was just really enjoyable. It was just really enjoyable. And then that little joke about Deadpool getting him killed and stuff. And then the end credit scene. I thought that was cool, actually. I thought that was cool. I don't like it sometimes when they make me sit through the whole bloody credits and then it's just a joke and a really poor joke. But it wasn't a really poor joke. It was a funny joke. I think it paid off really well in the end. So yeah, shout out to that cameo as well, Chris Evans. There was a whole bunch of like X-Men characters in there with Toad, and there was a few guys. You know what, with Toad as well, I got a soft spot for Toad because he was so good in X-Men Evolutions. And I used to love X-Men Evolutions, and he was such an iconic character in that. Between him and Spike, they like, when I think of X-Men Evolutions, I think of Spike and Toad. I love X-Men Evolutions as well, man. I'm sad that that's not a Disney Plus. It's not on Disney Plus UK. I think it might be elsewhere, but we don't have it. And it's very sad because I actually really enjoyed that. So that's like the bulk of what I enjoyed about the movie. I thought it was a good movie. It was a lot of fun. It was very funny. There was a lot to enjoy. I've spoken about all the most enjoyable things. I'm not going to waffle on and on and on and on because there's a million review channels and, you know, we're all going to talk about different stuff, and you know, that's what I enjoyed. Those were my favorite parts of the movie. I have to give some criticisms though. Sorry guys, I have to give some criticisms a little bit. I felt that I'm going to get criticized for saying this. I'm going to get crucified is what I meant to say, but it was a bit joke heavy. Like I feel like it was like joke, 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 joke. And I get it. Deadpool is the merc with the mouth. Deadpool is the merc with the mouth. He's the funny guy. He doesn't stop talking. He makes a lot of jokes. That's his whole thing. Speaking of that, another scene I enjoyed actually is the fight scene when they were fighting in the car. Like both the Deadpool and Wolverine fight scenes were good, but when he says when Wolverine actually touches a nerve, and we know what Deadpool's soft spots are, and when Wolverine actually touches a nerve, and Deadpool goes deathly silent, and then just says, "We're gonna fight now." Oh, that was I loved that. That was very well put together. The man went completely silent and said, "We're gonna fight now." So anyway, I thought that was good. But that aside, it was too joke heavy. I feel like at points it distracted from the storyline. Like I feel like I needed a bit more like a longer period of seriousness. And you know, the way that they did the trailers, I thought, oh, we're in for something a bit more serious as well, because they did jokey trailer, jokey trailer, jokey trailer, and then the final trailer was really deathly serious. And I thought, oh, okay, so they're going to switch up the tone a bit. They're going to switch up the tone a bit. It's going to be a bit more serious. But it wasn't. It was jokey. It was jokey throughout. There were no, like, it was not jokey. Like, it's madness how jokey it was. And I feel like it just took away from the storyline just a little bit. It just needed a turn down just ever so slightly for me. I love the jokes. Like I said, I laughed more than anyone in that cinema. I love a good laugh. I'm a laughy guy. But it was a bit heavy for me. My second criticism, Cassandra Nova felt squashed into that movie. She didn't feel like a good villain. She felt like a great villain in terms of her abilities and just in general. But the way that they put her in it felt squashed. And I feel like her whole personality her whole thing was, I'm very evil and I'm Charles Xavier's sister. And that was it. Like, that's all we got from her. And even Paradox, there wasn't much there, but Paradox is way less interesting than Cassandra Nova. Let's be honest, Cassandra Nova is an incredibly interesting character. They could have done so much with, and it was just like, look at me, I put fingers in heads, and I'm incredibly evil, and guess who my brother is? Charles Xavier! And it was like, that was it. That was the extent of what she had to bring. And yeah, I feel like, take a few of the jokes out, flesh out Cassandra's character a little bit more, and that would have improved the movie ever so slightly for me. And then, I talked about how great the Deadpool core was, yeah, but I feel like a little bit, you've got the Deadpool core, you've got all these Wolverines, you've got this group of cameos, you've got Cassandra's group, you've got the TVA, you've got this, you've got that, you've got this, you've got that. Parts of that movie, I feel like they could have been stripped back a little bit so that they could flesh out some of the other parts, because even the Deadpool core, and I don't want to speak badly about the Deadpool core because that was actually really fun. That was really fun, but it was like, what is this? It's like, you've just thrown this in so we can have a cool fight scene. There's no explanation of how this came together. We don't know why they're chasing you. That we don't know, like Cassandra's just left this void open just long enough for them all to come out to have a fight. You've got the other Deadpool, the owner of Dogpool, who's like, the nice Deadpool, was like, oh yeah, they like to kill. And that was it. That was the whole thing we got with them. And it led for a very cool moment. But it just felt like, okay, we've squashed so much into this movie. We can't flesh out the Deadpool core. We can't flesh out Cassandra Nova. There's just so many bits and pieces that could have been explained in a little bit more detail. We didn't really get to see that Wolverine's backstory as much as we probably could have. Maybe they've done that on purpose. I don't know. And they explained it, but there's just so much of it that just felt like, okay, we've got all these ideas. Let's just squish as much of it as we can into this movie. And that's what they've done, isn't it? And it was good. However, great movie, very fun, very enjoyable, definitely worth a watch. Great fight scenes, great songs. The juxtaposition of the songs was amazing. The flashback to all those different characters, the cameos. I didn't even talk about Elektra. I didn't even talk about some of the other cameos, the little conversations between them. Good movie, bruv. A lot of fun. Go and watch it. I'm giving it 8 out of 10. I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10. I'm not giving it 11, 12 out of 10 like some people are. I feel like when I look at my favorite MCU movies that are 10 out of 10s, it's not as good, but it's near there. And I feel like over time, because obviously I've just watched it yesterday. So over time, maybe because sometimes you need it to settle in, and maybe I've just given my opinion too quickly. But that's it. That's my first day after watching it review. Thank you for watching. Tell me what you think. What did you enjoy? What didn't you enjoy? Who was your favorite cameo? Who's your favorite cameos? Probably, if you're going to answer any question, tell me that one, because I actually really want to know. Because the cameos were so fun, right? Like, it was one of the best parts of the movie. Yeah, thank you for watching. This is two reviews. Like, share, subscribe. I'm going to be doing more of these. I do little fun ideas about which characters would be good fighting from different universes and all sorts of different stuff. This is a fun channel. We have fun here. Come and join me. Subscribe. If you're on social media, follow. Thank you for tuning in. Two reviews. Peace. Or should I say, bye, 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 bye. Sorry, I was bare cheesy. Have a good day. Peace.